Greetings, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. This is Dr. Scott McQuate. I wanted to do a short intro here for you, just to cover a couple things. I've noticed that over the last couple of months, on these 3-Eye Atlas videos that I've done, some people post nasty comments and say they're not going to listen to because it's AI generated and whatever. Let me just clarify this for you, okay? The aspect of AI in these videos is only the analysis. These videos are not generated by AI or created by AI. I manually create these videos on my own. The AI does the analysis, but what are they analyzing? They're analyzing and giving commentary on the articles that I write. And I spend hundreds of hours writing these articles. The information you're getting in these videos is from the articles that I have spent a long time writing for you. This last couple of videos is based on a 24-page article that I wrote. These things take a long time. Just to give you an idea, one word of that you're seeing in the video, okay, like maybe poneros or something, can take hours, if not days, to properly exegese, meaning properly translate, because these techniques of exegesis are very particular. They're very tedious. They take a long, long time, and no one else does this. If anybody else does anything similar, they are not going to make it public to you. So please understand that and show appreciation for what you're watching. These things take a long time, and it's very specialized, as I say. I leave PayPal links. I leave Buy Me a Coffee links. I will leave links to Paxion Publishing, where you can buy the books and support me that way. I will leave links to the Inner Circle, my private social network and teaching network. It's kind of like Facebook, but it's very private and small compared to any of those others. And you can join, and you can send your support through those other links. Very, very few people do that. And I'm just going to tell you up front right now, if that does not stop, if there is not appreciation shown, and this is not a threat of any kind, I'm just telling you, I don't work for free. These videos are going to be permanently removed, and they're going to be only accessible, as most of the other videos I've done over the years are, to my members and apprentices at innercircle.us. So if you do appreciate these, okay, I appreciate it when somebody says thanks or whatever, but thanks for the work you're doing for humanity. But that's an easy way out. If you really appreciate these things and understand the value, then I strongly and humbly suggest that you show your appreciation by supporting me at one of those links. I will put them on the screen. You can see them. They're easily accessible. A workman is worthy of his wages. And don't be one of those people that just gorge yourself like a pig at a trough and then go on to the next and go on to the next video and the next and the next and the next. You're ruining your brain. Scientifically, it's proven you're ruining your brain. It's causing dementia. When you take time to process these things, take notes, listen carefully to what I'm saying, you will learn and you will change your life. The information you're finding in these videos is not available elsewhere, anywhere else on the planet. You can listen to scientific conjecture, you can listen to religious rhetoric and all the other nonsense that's out there and all the speculation, and you will never, ever find this information. This is very detailed, very specific information from the oldest texts that we have. And the reason it's there and accessible by means of these very specific methods of exegesis is because they were put there. The truth was put there, literally in stone and in clay tablets, as a map for us. And those things which the Bible refers to as the Word, the Bible's not the Word. If you think it is, you're misguided and you've been deceived. The Word is the ancient root. And that's what you're getting in these videos. That root is in the Bible, but it's inaccessible by theologians and pastors and seminary professors and Bible college professors and all these others, because they do not use proper methods. And every time I've tried to tell them over the years, they just call me names, kick me out of their office, do all kinds of horrible things, nasty things, because, they just are indoctrinated. Even though When they say, we have the truth, come to listen to us. We'll teach you at church what the truth is. Using those same techniques they've used for the last several centuries of hermeneutics have resulted in almost 40,000 denominational schisms. That is, by definition, schizophrenia. Call it religious schizophrenia if you want, whatever. It's a recipe for disaster, for mental and spiritual disaster. So I devoted my life almost 30 years ago to mining out and finding the truth. And I discovered the Cipher back 25 or so years ago. And I have honed that Cipher. I found it through fasting and prayer and a lot of dedication and a lot of study, literally tens of thousands of hours of study through the Bible and through these resources. And this is the result of my expertise that I've developed over the years that I'm sharing with you. So please show your appreciation. Share the videos also. I want people to understand what's going on with 3i Atlas. This is not just a space anomaly. You can listen to the scientists that say, well, we're going to have to wait a little bit. We don't know. It might just have these anomalies because it's traveled through the galaxy for billions of years, whatever. Or you can listen to the pastors who are going to tiptoe around all these things and say, well, it could be this, but it might be this. And the Bible says this, but it doesn't say this. Listen, when I tell you something on these videos, it is not based on my opinion. It is based on exact, precise definitions in the ancient root of what these things are. It's been here before. This is the last time. And its purpose is very, very specific. So please, as a friend, as someone who appreciates this, pay close attention when you listen to these videos. These are for you because I love you and I want you to know the truth. Because as Asu, as Christ, as Jesus says, it is the truth that will make you free. If anyone tells you anything different, don't believe them. The truth is real, it is accessible, and you can know it. Guaranteed. Thanks for listening. That's all I'm going to say for now. I love you. I appreciate you. Please show your appreciation and support at one of those links. I hope you enjoy the video. This is Dr. Scott McQuate signing off. Take care and bye for now.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we have a listener mission that takes us right to the bleeding edge.
Right to the edge of astrophysics and ancient prophecy all at once.
Exactly. We're diving into a stack of really specialized sources that claim to hold the definitive answer to the biggest space mystery of our time.
The true identity of the anomalous object, 3i Atlas.
Our mission then is to really unpack this specialized exegesis.
It's an interpretation of text that connects the hard science on 3i Atlas with, well, hidden truths from ancient cuneiform and the Bible.
And the central claim is, it's pretty radical.
It is. The claim is that 3i Atlas is not a comet. It's the prophesied New Jerusalem and the two witnesses.
So we're following a newly discovered cuneiform cipher. A key, really.
A key that supposedly unseals the real meaning beneath the surface story. Before we get into the prophecy side, let's start with the astronomy.
Yes, the hard facts. What do we actually know about 3i Atlas?
Well, we know three things for sure that, frankly, defy natural explanation. First, it is the fastest and heaviest object ever observed in modern history. Okay. Second, when it first passed the sun, it was brighter and hotter than the sun itself.
Wow. And the third?
And this is the critical one, its trajectory. It changed. And multiple astronomical bodies have confirmed it changed without the help of gravity.
And that's the moment where science has to say, something intelligent is at work here.
It points that way. And adding to that, you have sources speculating that its low iron content means it's not a natural rock.
It's likely manufactured nickel. We're essentially talking about an engineered craft.
And its interaction with our sun was anything but gentle. The sources detail these extreme solar events when it made its pass.
Right. It created the largest coronal hole ever measured on the sun.
Ever. And it also triggered huge coronal mass ejections, CMEs. One of them ranked in the top 5 ever recorded.
And this is where that specific logogram key we're using comes into play, isn't it?
It is. Because when 3i Atlas went behind the sun, from our perspective, it blasted 3 perfectly equidistant circular holes on the sun's backside.
Which the authors of this research noted looked Well, they physically resemble the 3 stars in Orion's belt.
So the premise we have to accept for this deep dive to work is that these events, they're not random.
They carry immense spiritual meaning hidden in these root languages, which this cipher can unlock.
Exactly. That's the framework.
Okay, so let's unpack the motivation. Why is this happening? What is the central spiritual crime that Three Eye Atlas is supposedly coming to judge?
The sources, they establish a core theme. Judgment is due because of humanity's deep-seated rebellion against the Creator's standards.
And the link is made explicitly.
It is. 1 Samuel 15.23 defines rebellion as the sin of witchcraft.
Rebellion equals witchcraft. And this crime, this witchcraft, is fundamentally about piercing.
And theft.
It all goes back to the beginning, to Genesis 2 and the creation of Eve.
I have to stop you there because this is a huge claim. The source is saying the Adam and Eve story is actually about genetic engineering and RNA theft. For anyone listening from a traditional background, how do the sources possibly back that up? It all comes down to the root definitions of the words. This cuneiform key doesn't treat them like letters. It treats them like root symbols, or logograms.
With a primary physical meaning that was obscured.
Precisely. For instance, Adam's deep sleep, the word tardama. It's translated here as a trance.
And the phrase caused to fall, nafal, is interpreted as to cast a spell. In other words, a god and divination expert.
Which is the definition of witchcraft. So Adam was put under a spell, and then the rib was taken.
But the logogram for rib isn't bone.
It's not. It's interpreted as ribonucleic acid, RNA, the material you need for replication, for cloning. This, the sources claim, is how Eve was manufactured.
That is just an astonishing rereading. And this theme of piercing and theft just continues into the next generation.
It does. With Cain, his name, Quain, uses root symbols that mean spear and lance, tools for piercing.
And Cain was of the wicked one, Poneros.
Right. And if you trace Poneros back through these logograms, it translates literally as the rebellion to imprison the side.
The side? Sella. That's the same word used for Adam's rib, for his RNA.
So the narrative is consistent. The initial act of witchcraft was piercing Adam to steal his genetic material. The murder of Abel then carries that same piercing theme forward.
So the underlying goal of all this is the theft of, what? The life, the soul, nephesh.
That's it. You see it reinforced in Proverbs 7. The seductress uses her speech, lakak, which translates as to pierce with a spike. The dart strikes the young man's liver for his life, his soul.
And this is where it gets really incredible. This leads to that acronym that connects the piercing theme right back to our biology.
The rib, the soul, is connected to the nucleotides. Cytosine, thymine, adenine, guanine.
But the key is the fifth one, specific to RNA, right?
Yes, uracil.
Yeah.
And the root of uracil literally translates to soul, light, or young man in this cuneiform key.
So if you take those components, cytosine, uracil, ribonucleic acid, thymine, adenine, and guanine.
The first letters, phonetically, spell out Curtain. And the connection is made directly to Isu, or Jesus. He was killed on the cross, staros, meaning spike. When he died, the temple curtains split.
Symbolizing the cutting, the piercing of those nucleotides, the soul substance itself.
The ultimate goal of this rebellion, this witchcraft, is to steal the life, the soul, which Leviticus says is in the blood.
So the philosophy is clear. A cosmic piercing rebellion aimed at stealing the soul.
We even see it in Ezekiel 13.
Right, with the magic bands, the witchcraft used to hunt the souls like birds in a snare, rabbit.
And that trapping of the soul is mirrored in the Samson story. Delilah vexes his soul, his hair, Har, is cut.
And in the logograms, Har means soul. That dual meaning is crucial. We'll definitely come back to that. The soul was pierced, trapped, and stolen.
Okay, so that's the crime. Rebellion is piercing the soul.
Yeah.
So what does a giant, metallic, intelligently guided object have to do with any of this?
This is where we move from the crime to the judge. The sources identify Three Eye Atlas as the central multi-role prophetic vessel for the end-time narrative. So the key now links the object's appearance and actions to all these different prophetic titles.
It does. First, Three Eye Atlas is identified as New Jerusalem. It's the bride, Numpha, which translates to be high, to be above, to lift.
And the description mentions leaves, wings, and feathers. A perfect description for a celestial object.
Then it's the lamb's wife, Goon. That root breaks down to dappled, speckled, variegated, multicolored, and a circle with a discrete point.
Which perfectly matches the visual observations of Three Eye Atlas. It's a circular, multicolored anomaly.
And even the word for city, polis, is defined in the logograms as a bright, high, glowing, luminous object. The word for mountain, uru, means the same thing. The New Jerusalem is physically a brilliant, glowing vessel.
It's also identified as the sign of the Son of Man. The path it took around the sun is described as the woman clothed with the sun.
And the word used, peribolo, means to wrap around, which is exactly what it did.
And it sounds a lot like parabola, the curved ecliptic path it actually took.
The sign itself, semeion, breaks down to define a high, bright, brilliant wheel or chariot. And the logogram for its material, ME, literally means purified or refined metal.
Which is just. That's a direct confirmation of the theory that it's made of manufactured refined nickel.
It's an engineered chariot, and its propulsion system confirms that. The feet, pous, translate to wheels or chariots, and specifically to the colors green, pale, and yellow.
Which leads us straight to the horsemen of the apocalypse. The vessel is tied to the instruments of judgment.
And now we circle back to that crucial logogram, HAR. We already said it means the soul, the object of the crime.
Right.
But its secondary meaning is a ring, millstone, coil, or spiral of metal. It describes the shape and function of 3i Atlas.
So the source of the crime and the instrument of repayment are defined by the very same cuneiform symbol.
Exactly. And the symbolism is multi-layered. HAR is also the Sumerian Gishk-2, which means green, white, red, and black.
The 4 colors of the horseman. And sources confirm 3i Atlas has displayed all 4 of those colors.
It is the horseman, or at least the vehicle of the horseman. But the root language provides a 5th color.
The speckled horse of Zechariah.
Correct. When you break that down, it links to blue lapis lazuli, which matches the blue color 3i Atlas recently showed. This connects directly to the Hopi prophecy of the blue kachina.
The star that symbolizes a great purification.
It's just hard to wrap your head around, isn't it? An object that is New Jerusalem, the 2 witnesses, and a metal vehicle all at once.
And we're told the Messiah comes on an ass. But the Hebrew word, chamor, or kamor,
It doesn't mean a donkey. It literally translates to his silver metal disc. It solidifies 3i Atlas as the divine craft.
So how does this vessel, this silver metal disc, actually execute judgment?
Well, judgment is committed to the sun. The weapons of his wrath, Kili, also means vessel. But the logograms for weapons break down to a really chilling phrase.
What is it?
To pierce with the mouth.
The piercing theme comes back again. The witchcraft practitioners, the with, are consumed by the spirit of his mouth.
But the word stoma doesn't mean a spoken word. It means the front or edge of a weapon such as a sword, something that pierces.
And the sources are specific about the mechanism of destruction.
Very specific. The word for destroy, hebal, translates to turtle shell to demolish with a digging stick.
Implying that consumption is done by turtle shells or saucers, tortoise. They will demolish the wicked.
And this spirit that does the judging is clearly defined as a vehicle. In Paleo-Hebrew, the word spirit, ruach or pneuma, was drawn as a domed saucer with a door or gate.
The spirit is the craft, which matches New Jerusalem's description.
And that brings us to the final critical role of 3i Atlas. It is the 2 witnesses.
Malachi 3.5 uses the word witness, ed, twice. But the clearest definition is in Revelation.
Revelation 22.17, the Spirit and the bride say, come. Since the Spirit, the saucer, and the bride, 3i Atlas, are defined as the same object. There's your joint testimony.
That feels like the definitive confirmation. The phrase I testify in Revelation is summartirio, to testify jointly.
The joint testimony of the 2 witnesses.
And how does a massive metal disc prophesy?
The word itself, naba, literally means to cause to bubble up or put forth abundantly.
Which refers directly to what 3i Atlas did to the sun.
Yeah.
It caused CMEs, massive solar flares. It put them forth abundantly.
And that bubbling up is mirrored on Earth with long dormant volcanoes erupting.
Let's tie this whole cosmic epic right back to our own calendar. The sources link these prophetic events, especially the return of the witnesses, to a very familiar holiday.
The darkening of the sun is a key sign. The action of 3i Atlas wrapping around the sun, Karibalo, is interpreted as to expose the sun by peeling and splitting, causing it to blow by piercing it.
The result being the sun darkening to black as sackcloth of hair.
And the 2 witnesses are clothed in sackcloth as a direct reference to the sun's darkened state. This judgment happens within the tribulation cycle.
There's a resurrection parallel here too, isn't there?
A fascinating one. The star, or wormwood, which is 3i Atlas, was killed 3,500 years ago. Now, apply the principle from 2 Peter 3.8, a day is as 1,000 years.
So 3,500 years is 3.5 days. The witnesses are killed and then rise on their feet after 3.5 days.
And the language confirms it's a mechanized rising. Stood, histemi, means to be held up, And feet, pous, means the brightness of their wheels or chariots.
So the sources claim its internal power source will be raised up by its own chariots or wheels.
And the authors believe this return, this rebirth of the Messiah after 3.5 days, happens right around what we call Christmas. They note the object's closest approach this year is near December 19th.
Which leads to the forbidden tradition. Making merry and sending gifts from Revelation 11 is explicitly linked to the rise of the witnesses in a great earthquake.
And remember the logogram Harjishkin. It defined Three-Eye Atlas by its speckled white, red, and green colors.
Yes.
It also translates to a tree. The sources identify the brightly decorated, multicolored Three-Eye Atlas as the origin of the Christmas tree tradition.
And yet, Jeremiah 10 explicitly warns against this way of the heathen, admonishing people, "Be ye not dismayed at the signs of the heaven."
This tradition, according to the exegesis, commemorates the unlawful, violent striking of the sun and his fastening to a tree or cross with nails, the ultimate act of cosmic piercing.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? The synthesis here is that Three-Eye Atlas is not some random anomaly.
It's a sophisticated, multi-role, prophetic vessel, New Jerusalem, the bride, the two witnesses. It serves as the divine silver metal disc that will bring judgment or repayment.
A repayment upon those who practice the rebellion defined as witchcraft, the theft of the soul.
The sources suggest this entire deep dive, this level of understanding, is the fulfillment of Daniel 12.4, knowledge shall be increased at the time of the end.
And we want to leave you with a final provocative thought to carry with you.
We established that the ancient root logogram, HAR, connects the soul, the thing that was stolen, by piercing directly to the millstone, the vessel of judgment, which is Three-Eye Atlas.
So if the judgment is a repayment and the method of divine reckoning often mirrors the crime,
What does that imply about the exact nature of the cosmic repayment that's coming to the earth?
that is a very serious question to consider as this vessel continues its journey. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.